course, do the good old manual reposting here. That's that's the way you're supposed to do it. All right. I had to go to the store this morning. That means I had to scrub the ice off the car before I left, and it's brutal. I was really smart and I wore slippers and socks. It was like just freezing cold outside. No gloves. Um, yeah, Canadian life. Uh, it's great though. There's a good opportunity to go skiing perhaps this weekend. See about that. Always look at the bright side. One thing that I do is if I ever go out for a drive in the mornings, even to the store or whatever, I'll leave my phone behind and on purpose, just so I can like disconnect. It would be like one of the moments I can take to feel a little bit of technological freedom. I mean, just counting the car, but I like the it's like there's nothing. It feels like you have that solitary moment away from tech and stuff like that, which is cool. Even if it's for a few minutes. I like it. I popped on the FM radio. That felt good. I don't know if anyone knows what that is anymore. You still listen to the radio?
Sorry,
Do you still ever listen to the radio? Like
do I
the
listen to the
FM?
radio if I sit in the car?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, if I sit in the car, then sometimes, and I listen to there's one particular radio that I listen to. Um, they're always playing music. That's it.
Okay, okay. So
It's
you know
not.
what a radio you know what a radio is?
Yes, I know what a radio is.
Oh
I do know
man.
what a radio is. I grew up listening to radio. Just that, um, things change, things are evolving. So, um,
Yep.
yeah, radio is a thing of the past. Now, there
Yeah.
are a few radio stations that I like listening to. Not quite a lot of them here in the UK. Um,
Okay.
one of them, they actually talk about stuff that is happening in this country,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
I forgot the name of that radio. It's very, very interesting. When you listen to them, you have some quite interesting people that come on to give either stupid ideas or great ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Uh,
uh I listen to a local radio station here. It's for the university one for University of Toronto, and it's very
okay.
diverse, but also it's there's music and it's like curated by I guess university radio DJs. And
Okay.
also then there's like they have the political shows and some news shows that are just phenomenal, like just amazing. I'll share some of them because like they don't some of them don't hold back, and university radio is good for that. Like they'll broadcast some things that you wouldn't normally hear on like MSM and stuff like that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I like the something about the radio waves that's really cool, you know?
Yeah. It's when I'm driving, that's when I love to listen to them. But when I'm home like this, no, no radio, never.
Yeah.
It's much easier listening to it whilst you're driving.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, you just get in the zone.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it helps.
Well, So you were up all night back testing, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's the thing about price action, right? The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And it goes for everything, but when it comes to price action, the more time you spend on the screen, and I'll tell you this, most of the stuff that I'm sharing with you all, um, it's me sitting in front of the screen and then it'll pop out to me. Like it will just come to me. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
And you get
The
into flow
the
state.
idea or the concept will come to me while staring at the screen because I did, so I have this idea, right, that everything, we are all one, right? So, um, for some reason, we all tapping into one mind, or we call it the universal mind, right? And if everyone is connected to it, then whoever built the algorithm, the mind is connected to that. So I did set an intention that whoever built it, I want to connect to that person's mind and then, get all the ideas that he had in building it. So when I sit in front of the screen, I open up myself to receiving.
Yeah,
Okay, so when I'm sitting in front of the screen, I'm actually trying to open up my mind to connect to whoever created it, and then the ideas will be flowing to me. So every now and then, I'll just sit there, look at the screen, and then they'll just like, look at that one, look at that one. He's doing this, he's doing that. And then I'll spend time back testing it, back testing it, back testing it. And that's how most of the stuff that I share with you all, that's how I came about it, spending time in front of the screen.
love that. Yeah.
And if you do that, like early hours in the morning, man, it's so great. If you have some nice tea and then you have some nice music going, you're gonna love it. And I did teach, and I'll teach how to do it anyway, because I taught my private students how to do it, how to open up yourself to receiving these ideas about how price is moving. And some of them were able to get something because price is moving and these candlesticks, they are telling a story. So if you open up yourself, you can actually know something that maybe no one has ever known.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. It's interesting. I was having a chat with SP Das, maybe like even 2 days ago, and we're talking about like the divine hours. I believe it's something like 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's where in some religions and cultures and stuff, it's believed that you can tap into I guess source or into the divine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love that stuff. Like it's just if you even if you're a scientist, like and you believe in like the quantum different quantum theories, like that achieving flow state, it's so cool. Like I personally, when I code, those are my magic hours as well. Like between 3 and 5 a.m. is like when I get the most focus. I can it's quiet, obviously. And I'm the type of person that would rather wake up at 3 a.m. than stay up till 3 a.m. So I'm
Right.
like, I've designed my life around waking up earlier rather than going to bed late.
Okay.
But for that same reason, like if it was the other way around, which it used to be, I used to be a night owl, and for that, like I would love it when it started to get really dark and late, and things would quiet down outside, and especially like once like 2 a.m. hits or something like that, like you just get into flow state, and it's
Mm.
it's cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And they uh, I don't and maybe people might not like me saying that, but I don't like religious ideas, right? It's biased. So divine this, divine that. I personally don't subscribe. I want hardcore, you know, kind of logical reason why, because everything has to make sense, right? It has to make sense. It's not woo-hoo. If it's woo-hoo, then it's based on maybe belief. But like the night time, the 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., my logic about that is based on certain knowledge that I've received. Everything moves in cycle, in like a motion circle. So the physical plane, the plane that we are on, and the other plane, which is the astral plane, right? They overlap at some point. It's just like when the sun is going to sleep and the moon is coming out, they can overlap. When I say overlap, the sun is there and the moon is also there. Okay, sometimes in the evening you see that the sun is there and then the moon is there. That's the overlapping. So that's a special time. So in that 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., that's when the physical and the other world, which is the astral, that's when they overlap. Okay, so when they're
Love it.
overlapping, then there is a sense of more energy because the astral, the frequency is higher than the physical. So when the astral is overlapping with the physical, then there's more energy in the physical. That's why you'll be able to tap into whatever you want to tap in. That's when ideas flows during that time. It has nothing to do with which is hours. It has nothing. It's just that there's more energy coming into the physical because before something will manifest in the physical, it comes from the astral, right? So when the astral overlaps with the physical, then there is more energy coming into the physical. That's why if you wake up at that time, you're able to tune in because most bad energies here on the physical or most people are sleeping, right? So when
Right.
less activity is happening, then you can get the energy that is flowing from the astral much better.
Love that.
It's not.
I
I don't believe in that which is ours or divine, whatever. It's not. It's none of that.
well, you know what? There's substance to it, however you believe in it. The fact that it's repetitive, not through multiple cultures and through whatever way, right? Is
Hmm. Hmm.
that speaks volumes to something being there's hey, maybe we no one can explain it, but it's there, right?
It's
It's
there. It's there.
at least for now. At least for now. We're
It's
getting
going.
close.
It's always going to be there. It's always going to. As long as the
Yeah,
physical exists and the astral exists, it's always going to be there because it's
yeah,
a cycle, right? That's what I said. Because as long as the sun and the moon is there, you are going to get that overlapping of seeing the sun and the moon.
exactly. Yeah.
Right? So it's always going to be there. It's not going anywhere. So if you are not used to tapping into that time of the day, then you need to get into it. Especially if you
Hmm.
are, if you are someone that wants to do something in your life, really wake up at that time and tap into that energy.
I uh I I can't disagree with you.
Most of my discoveries came at that time of the day. Anything that I am able to discover, it comes that time of the day.
What did you discover last night?
What did I discover last night?
You want to show us?
Actually, I was going through. I was trying to make sure that I give you what I need to give you as the members. So the stuff that I shared with you yesterday, I was just going through examples upon examples upon examples, right? And
Yeah.
now another thing, um, when it's so funny, you know, some of the stuff that I also discovered, I discovered them whilst I was on a live session,
Yeah,
and that's because I develop theories all the time. That's because the audience, right? They are looking to understand price, and I'm the vessel. I open up myself to teach them. So I use, it's not a bad thing. So I tap into their mind, and then collectively, I use their energy to open up my mind more to receive what they want. So sometimes, not here, okay, that's in the past. When I was teaching, that's when actually I get the knowledge. So
yeah.
initially, I'll be teaching it, but I don't know it. It's just that I've opened up myself to receive that knowledge for them. So after the session,
That's
then I'll go back and I'll be like, that's interesting.
Hey, look, I gotta be honest with you, man. Like this is the exact same thing that SP Das talks about, literally, like, but from his own perspective. And I find
Right?
that so fascinating, right? Because
Mm,
uh so his mentor, yogi mentor, gave him the name Shiv Priya Das, right? Which is like the servant of Shiva, which is, I guess, a deity, right? And he did like the whole like yogi meditation and everything, or like he went through that whole process for years and years, right? He's very well versed in I guess those practices, right? And he literally, like, every time I talk to him, he says the exact same thing that you say, but coming from a whole different perspective. But it's the exact same words, right?
right.
So
There's a
it's
truth to it. The more
right.
the more minds, okay, so this thing you have to. That's why initially I said you have to be open-minded, right?
Yeah,
If you are closed-minded, these stuff you're not gonna actually um even not understand it. You're not gonna have it.
not
Or
gonna be open to it.
you cannot,
Yeah,
yeah, you have to be open-minded to be able to apply it in your life because it's there, it works, but you need to open up your mind. Don't get closed, don't have a closed mind so that you be able to also tap into it. Because
yeah,
the idea that we all share one mind, right, is there collectively. Because when you look outside and you see a tree, okay, you see a tree, and then if I see the same tree, then it means we are all seeing the same thing, right? If you see a tree and I don't see that same tree, then you are seeing something different from what I'm seeing. So
mm,
from a higher dimension perspective, it's like we've all agreed to see what we are seeing here. Okay, so there's some kind
yeah,
of agreement that we have made collectively. We call it the collective consciousness. We've collectively agreed to what we are seeing in here. So that means we have something in common, and that is that one mind. We are all tapped into one mind. Okay. And you can call it the universal mind, you can call it whatever, but we are all tapped into it. So, because we are all tapped into it, for one to have an idea, you can use your partner or whoever, you can tap into their mind and then gather more energy to be able to download from that universal mind. Because sometimes your personal energy will not be able to do it. So then you collectively, that's why I think, I don't know, they call something masterminding, right?
right. Yeah,
That
that's
that
the Napoleon Hill.
yes, that masterminding, that's where it comes from. The idea of actually bringing minds together to be able to tap into that all mind so that ideas is going to flow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
go
go
on.
on. I was just gonna say the actual idea for masterminding, at least from the Napoleon Hill perspective, came from Andrew Carnegie, and when he did it, so Napoleon Hill interviewed Carnegie before he wrote Think and Grow Rich, and that
Mm-hmm.
and essentially Carnegie gave him all those I guess all of his practices in an interview. So it was just an interview that he did that one time, and he was like, "Look, I'm going to tell you all this stuff. You're the only person I'm going to tell this to because I believe in your mindset and what you're doing. But I want you to promise that you're going to like do good with this knowledge." And I think he essentially asked Hill to promise him to like write the book
Mm-hmm.
and to help empower people and better people. And yeah, he kept his word. He wrote the book, but there is and I have it here. I love this thing because it's the actual interview got published. You could actually buy it or get it online, and it's called Think Your Way to Wealth. And so this is like the precursor. This is what Think and Grow Rich is based on. It's actually
Mm.
the so that whole mastermind, everything. It's all this is like from the words of Carnegie himself, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah, I love it. So yeah, sorry to interrupt.
That's all
Diverging.
right. That's all right. But the idea, I don't think it even originated from Carnegie, right?
Of course.
It's an old um I would
Yeah.
say old knowledge. It's in the Bible. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not a Christian yet now. I used to be, but I'm not. But in the Bible, it's in there that wherever two or three are gathered, there I am in their midst. That was a coded like knowledge that wherever two or three gather, there's a third mind. There's something else,
Mm, hmm.
right? So where there is a group with one idea, with like I said to you earlier, the idea of having um, like-minded. Okay, when the minds are all tuning into an idea, it creates a link, right? It's like a network. So we are all thinking of achieving the same thing. So
Yeah.
that creates a network, right? So all three minds, or how many, whatever people, all those minds will come together, and the energy that they'll be generating when they are thinking about the idea will create another mind of or the number. It doesn't matter. The more, the better. If they can all collectively be thinking about the same thing, then that four or five people thinking about that same thing creates another mind. And that mind is what will tap into the universal mind, and it will bring down ideas, because the
Yeah.
energy that it will generate, or the energy that will be generated when all these minds come together, is so powerful than just an individual. That's why the masterminding is very, very important and very, very good.
Yeah. I was I think we talked about this before, but we should probably do like a massive Zoom session with all the like as many holders as possible as well, right? And just like everyone gets to know each other kind of thing, and of course we can make the avatar system program public so everyone can use it if they don't want to reveal themselves and all that stuff, right? So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a good idea. Yeah, that would be cool. And then just have a massive mastermind group and get some flow happening, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And we can share some of these knowledge to them as well, to help them build up their own life, because um, it's fascinating when you have there is a saying that knowledge is power, right? And it's true. Knowledge is power. When you have certain type of knowledge, you have power, because the people that runs this place, right? The quote unquote elite, it's just a certain type of knowledge that they have that we don't have. That's what makes them powerful. It's not that they are powerful. They are not. It's just something, they know something that we don't know. Okay, so having a certain type of knowledge will give you power over people. And I think I shared a few of them last time. If you want to be above the average human, learn about dark psychology and you'll be above every other human because most humans don't use their mind the way they're supposed to. And they just go about their life, average life, without understanding this whole life. They don't understand what is behind it, what's actually moving them. They have no idea. They are just used to the everyday wake up, do the same shit over and over and over again.
It's comfortable. It's a comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's I guess we make our lives we create comfort around us so much and we get so used to it, and stepping outside of that comfort is uncomfortable, so we get too complacent in our own comfort. The couch is easy, the whatever's easy, right? And this eventually, like, it just things we set our lives up to be so easy and we avoid the hard. It's like,
Mm,
the more hard shit you do, the cooler things get, I find. Like, it's like I'll go for like a 40-kilometer bicycle ride almost every single day, right? And not because I'm better than anyone or anything, but I just like I feel great after I do it. I get a lot of
hmm
oxygen in my body through my blood, and I could
hmm
sit down afterwards and just be so clear-headed, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just, I don't know. It's same with like coding, with trading, like anything that like really challenges the brain and makes it, if it feels hard, that's good. That's the feeling you want, right? You want the feeling
Yeah.
of hard because that means that you're pushing through boundaries,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And it's a good thing doing what you want to do. That's also
Yeah,
something that is very, very important. Doing something that you want to do, that you feel good doing, right? Not
right.
that you've been told or you had the
Yeah,
idea
yeah,
from somewhere that is good for you. That's the worst thing you'll ever do as a human. Always try and do what makes you happy, what makes you wake up in the morning excited, what makes you want to jump out of bed every morning. You want to do those things. Because
yeah.
most people wake up sad because they know they're going to a shitty job or they know their anxieties or their stress is going to come back. Some people want to sleep and don't want to wake up for some reason.
There's Yeah. I mean, I get where you're coming from too. I'm an optimist, and like, no matter what experience I'm going through or whatever, I'll always find positivity in it. Like, if I have if I'm going to work or anything like that, and it's something that let's say I'm uncomfortable doing, or I don't find joy in, like, maybe I'll find education in it, right? Or I'll find something in it that's going to keep me like engaged and occupied. So you know what I mean? Like, and that's just for me personally, right? But like, I'll try to disassociate my emotions from it, other than from, what value can I bring and what value can I get, right?
Mm, mm. Yeah, that's cool. And then maybe I'll share this one and then we use maybe 15 minutes to look at the chat really quick and then we can.
Sweet.
So
Yeah.
I want to open up I want people to open up their mind. Okay. The mind is the most powerful thing in that you possess. Okay. It's very, very powerful thing that you possess. So you need to be able to use it properly. Now, um, you need to believe that you are not the body, um, because when someone dies, okay, the body is put under the ground. So between when the person was alive and when the person dies, there was something that was keeping the body alive. Okay, there was something that was keeping the body alive. And when that thing left the body, that's when the body died. oh sorry, the body was no more good for use. Okay, so look at your body like a car, and you sit in the car and then you drive the car, right? So when the car gets damaged, you can't be in the car. You have to get out and then maybe go get another car, right? And then the car will go to the, I don't know, either to the mechanic to get it fixed. And if you cannot get it fixed, then it's damaged. You have to throw it away. Look at your body like that. Okay. When you open your mind and you start looking, observing life, you will see that there is something that keeps the body alive, right? And that thing is the real you. And that thing is the real you because without that thing, the body is an empty shell. So anytime someone passes away, whatever was keeping the body alive has left it. And then the body is now, because when it's damaged, the doctors try, like the mechanic will try. And if it's no more good, then it has to be put under the ground. And then the real you, the driver, moves away and then go and find another car. Okay. Just from that observation of life, then you understand that there's more to life than this physical. There's more to it. So when you are born here on this planet, right, you come in as a clean slate. You don't know anything. You have no idea where you are. So you begin your journey as a clean mind. You don't have anything. You don't know anything, right? So your base program is going to be installed by your parents. What you learn or whatever you're going to go through in life initially is programmed by your parents. Whoever brings you up, that's where you get your base program from. Now, the sad thing about it is if you don't get the right base program, the source, not source code, the base code, okay, if you don't get it right, it can mess up the whole program or the software. It can mess it up. So your upbringing is very, very important. That's why when you grow up and you see things not going well in your life, you need to go back and then check what was your upbringing like, because your upbringing will determine. And I think there's someone that said this: give me a child below 7, and I'll show you the man that he'll become. Why? Because those people, they know that we human beings, we are not this body. We are more than that. And we are programmed. Okay. So what I'm driving at is as a being that lives inside the body, whatever happens to you, you choose it based on how you've been brought up. That's your basic code. That's the basic software that you run on subconsciously. Okay, that's the basic code that you run on. But at a certain age, you begin to create or you begin to add more programs to it from the age of 14. But from the age of 14, we are not developed enough to understand life. So we just go on doing stuff through repetition. And then we build up some, I don't know, habits. So between the age of 14 to 21, that is when we have created our own programs. From 0 to 14 is by our parents. From 14 to 21, that's us. So it's either you override what your parents gave you, or you still run on what your parents gave you until you're 21. And then from that point, if your life is not great from 21, that's it. Unless you do self-work, you work on yourself. Okay, so it's very, very important to be cautious of what you do, what you take in, because anything you're taking in is programming you. whatever you're listening to, whatever you're watching, people that you interact with. There is a saying, show me your friend and I'll show you your character. It's because when you're interacting with your friends, you're actually taking in some kind of ideas from these people. Okay, so you need to be careful. Know that you create your own reality. Whether you accept it or not, you are doing it. So life happening to you is not by someone else's doing. You are doing it. So you need to take responsibility for yourself. Even here with the trading that I'm teaching, I'm not doing anything. You're doing it. I'm just here trying to open your mind to be able to see it. I'm not doing anything for you. At the end of the day, you are going to do it. So the lesson that I'm trying to give you today is that you are not the body. You are more than that. And because you are more than that, you can decide what your life is going to be like. If something is happening to you and you don't like it, you have the power to change it. You just need to be aware that you're doing it and then see what you're doing wrong to create that life. And then you begin to do something different to change it. Because if you don't do anything about it, it's just gonna run on autopilot. Because that's what the subconscious does to you. We're already running on some programs that even if you don't do anything, okay, it's just gonna run you. And I did this test a few days ago. I'm used to doing something of the same thing over and over again. I can know when I'm off that program. For example, waking up early hours in the morning. If I don't wake up early hours in the morning, it throws me off because that's my program. Okay. So watch your life and see whatever is not going on right. Because whatever is not going on right means that there is something that you are unconsciously running on, and you can change it by being aware of what is not going right, whether it's your health, whether it's your finance, whether it's your, I don't know, relationship, in all aspects of your life. Pay attention, bring out what is not working because you can. Just pay attention, be an observer, and then bring out the things that are not working and then begin to change them. Because if you do that, you're going to see that you are very, very powerful. Okay? You are a very, very powerful being that lives
Yeah.
in a limited body.
If I can add something,
Sure.
um, I like the idea you mentioned one of the other days is it's good to be your own observer. So essentially like if you take your mind's eye and you start observing yourself like as if you were seeing yourself if you're playing, when you're playing a video game and you can see the character from behind the character and you can go around and do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you take yourself in the mind's eye and every pretty much any situation you're in and anything you're in, just imagine in your mind's eye that you're observing yourself doing that thing. And
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden you start having a different outlook on what you're doing, how you're interacting, all these things, right? Like if you're talking to someone or like you literally just imagine yourself as if you're this character or this avatar in this game. And it just having that perspective switch, uh,
Yeah.
all the like, especially once I started to practice that kind of stuff, like I started to I stopped started being a bit more not I don't want to say careful, but I started being a bit more like
Cautious.
observant, not even cautious, just more observant about what my impact is and how the world around me is impacted by my actions. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like because all of a sudden now like I'm not being myself. I'm seeing
Yeah.
myself from someone else's eyes, which is it's a meta thing. It's still me, look, but I'm looking at myself as an observer, as I see a character in that perspective, rather than seeing the world through my own eyes.
Mm.
And it really changes. It just changes everything. It's cool,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's the observer perspective. Um,
Yeah,
it's a powerful practice. What you just said there is a powerful practice that if you can do that, you are going to see. changes in your life. Just observe yourself from a third person perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, not you. You can. That's what I'm saying. The reason why you can do that is because you can divide yourself into 20, but it takes
Right.
practice. You can divide your attention because it's just a matter of attention. Divide your attention because right now I'm speaking to you. At the same time, I'm listening to music. Okay, I'm aware of the music. I'm tuning into the music. At the same time, I'm thinking something behind the scene that you are not actually privileged to know. Okay, so I've divided my attention into several um, observers. Okay, and I'm observing these things. And then I also have one that is so high that's observing everything. Like, yeah, it's observing everything. Okay, so that observer can pick up the thoughts of the audience as well. Okay,
Love that.
it's a powerful practice there. But anyway, I think we've said too much for today.
It's Friday, get to have a little bit of fun, right? Like it's and hopefully, people get to know us a little better, right? I think it's wonderful. And I think
Yeah.
everything you're saying it resonates with me a lot, right? So I always appreciate a reminder because it's so easy to forget, right? Just
Mm,
I had to say this one more thing. Like if you ever notice yourself, if you stop to think and start to notice how you breathe, most of the time we forget that we start breathing really shallow.
hmm
And if you remind yourself that you could take a deeper breath, you could take the regular breath you take, you could actually go two, three, four times deeper than that. And if you start getting conscious of that, all of a sudden yeah, things start changing too because it's like your organs are getting more oxygen. You're gonna, have more energy. You're, it's just, man, all this stuff like just being conscious of and self-aware and,
hmm
and is just it's like you said, it's so powerful. And we need that reminder. We always need it. I think every day, every morning, somehow like have something, some symbology, whatever it is that gets you to remember
Right.
every like at all times, if anything, right?
I
Um,
like the word that you use there, self-aware. That word. I think that is the key word for today. Maybe do for our audience, do a bit of research about it. Self-awareness. The awareness to be aware of yourself. Okay, because all that I'm talking about, you can do it if you are self-aware. If you're not self, when you say self, the real you, when I was giving the analogy, the driver in the car, that's the self. Start becoming aware of that or becoming aware that you are there as a self within a car or within a body. And then the stuff that we're talking about will start making sense because most people have identified themselves the self with the body. They think that they are the body. Okay, so if you think you are the body, some of the things that we're talking about will not make sense. But if you think that you're not the body, then it makes sense. Because if you're the body, how can you divide your attention into five? But the self is unlimited. It's so
yeah,
powerful. So you can do anything. And that's the true you, whether you know it or you don't. So most people are walking around asleep. Even though they think they are awake, they are walking around asleep because they are not self-aware. They are not conscious of that self within them. But
yeah,
once you become conscious of that self within you, then you can do that observation. You can pretend to be having a conversation with your own self. And then your own self is going to tell you what is going on, why you're doing this, why you're doing that. Because the self, like I said, is all. That's the divine spark. Okay, it's all that we are all having. You have the self, I have the self, and that self is the same. That's why we are all one. It's because of that self that makes us all one. So become, for today, the word is self-awareness. be aware that you are a driver in a car. You are not the car. You are the one in the body. You are not the body. Okay. And that can change a whole lot in your life when you become self-aware.
And on the charts too, because yeah, if you start looking at yourself, your trading journey and patterns from a third person perspective, oh, do things change? Because you're no longer looking through your own eyes, you're looking through your third person eyes, and now you're judging yourself on how you're doing things, and it's almost like you're having someone watch over your shoulder, and it's you. And, and guess what happens to your charts? Guess what happens to your trades? They they get better because you're increasing your performance levels by creating this third person avatar of yourself that's literally uh, behind you, and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't buy this top here or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you pay attention to yourself, you know that
Right?
you're telling you are not supposed to be selling that. And then you will sell it.
Exactly.
And then once you get stopped out, then that will remind you, I told you. It will come to you like this.
Yeah,
I knew it was going to stop me out, right? You were not paying
yeah,
attention.
yeah. I love it. Oh man. Anything happening on the charts today or what? Or we
Yeah, let's look at the chart for 10 minutes, and then
awesome.
I think we have more of this in future,
Yeah,
um, because
sounds
it's not
great by the
always
way.
about the charts. Not always about the charts. Anyway, quick one.
Yeah.
So dollar index did trade to the level that we were looking for. I think yesterday we said we wanted them to drive down to this high and then potentially to this down candles high. They did do that early hours this morning. Euro managed to climb up to that equal high from yesterday, which is beautiful. I think there was a gap here. I said they were going to trade into that 1.05 institutional level. They've done it pretty well. Same thing with British pound. We traded to that OTE level. Um, yeah, so that's also very good to see. New Zealand went for the equal high. So all the upside objectives that we were looking for, price did actually go for them. Aussie did the same thing, right? We went for the equal high. It gave a nice trade idea in here and then in here. All of them gave a trade idea if you were paying attention. If you didn't, then obviously it went right over here. British pound gave a trade idea, yeah. And
Yep, yep.
then we went up, and then this morning we have this move down and then rejected. So we have another trade idea going right now. Euro did the same thing, nice buying opportunity in here, and then we went up. And again, it came to that OT, the range that I gave to watch, which was this high to this low. Right, they run that, rejected, and then boom, we went higher. Gold also rejected the gap, which I said should stay open. If we trade through it, that was not good. And then it closed above this down candle, and that was it. I actually, as soon as this candle closed, I placed a buy limit at this candle's high, and I'm still riding that beast, right, going for that high. Crude oil is now trying to change. It's printed the pattern, so I'm waiting for it to break. So watch crude oil. I think maybe going into next week, we want to see this move as the buy. We don't want them to go lower again. If they do, that's not good. So this should be the buy pattern. Nice aggressive move down, and then we want to see the rejection to go higher. New Zealand card also gave a big push towards the level that I gave. I think it was here. So by the end of this week, I think I was looking at it over the overnight, and you can see the pattern has formed and it's pushing higher. So by the close of this week, I think we're gonna keep going up on the New Zealand card. So you can look for basically a continuation to the upside. Just look for these type of and I've given you quite a lot to know when it's breaking and when it's not breaking. Right. So this gap should stay open for us to continue going up, just like this one did. Okay. Um, Euro pound also did very well if you were here yesterday. Right, I said as soon as this candle closes, okay, you want to sell short and target this candle's high. Okay, and the logic was very simple. They did not respect this gap, so it needs to trade lower, and they did that. That also very, very nice. Moving on to Bitcoin. So again, that range, that's why I said if you want to buy, that's where you want to buy, right? 618 to 79. What happened? They came in and then bought it again and then pulled back. So if you were paying attention, when it pulled back to this candle's high, right? That was a buying opportunity right there. Depending, I'm the H4, so this is my entry right there. Okay, so it came back to that level and then shot up. Ethereum did the same thing. This down candle and then created another one and then it pulled back to it right there. That was your buying opportunity and the price shot up. And I think I gave the equal high here as the target that price is trying to reach for. Okay. Hype is the one that as it is now, I'm not sure what it's doing because it did not respect this. It's not giving the pattern that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna be on the sidelines for now until I see something because it's not doing what I want it to do. Okay, it needs to show me that it's doing something that I recognize, which is the institutions. So right now, I'm not seeing it. Maybe if today can go all the way up and close above this, because then that will give you one up candle, one down candle, and that also qualify as a buy. The buy can be between 1 and maximum 3. So we have 1 here. So if it can go up and close above the candle, and then we close above the high, then we will resume going higher. Okay. XRP, same thing. It came to that OT area, and then we had a rejection. I think on the H4, it gave the down candle as well, right here, and then price shot up. Okay, so I think everything is doing what we said it should do. The only thing that didn't give an idea was the Solana on the H4. It didn't quite give a buy on the H4, but it's actually giving it on the daily. So watch the daily here, right? We want it to reject and close above it. So if today closes like this, then we have a buy, then we can look for a continuation to the upside. I would really want to see on Solana this week continue going up and take out this high. If we don't do it, this becomes an inside candle, and I don't like up candles. If you're going higher, I don't like up candles being the inside candle. Okay, when price is going up, you don't want an up candle to be an inside candle. You want it to be a down candle. Okay, so if you're going up, the inside candle should be a down candle. That's a reaccumulation. When it's when it's an up candle, that's not good. It's not a good sign. However, the week has not closed yet, so I'm not going to confirm this is going to be an inside candle. So we want this week to go all the way up to go and close above this. So over the weekend, I'll be watching it to see if it will do that. That's what I'll be looking for anyway. Okay, so you should also look for that for Solana to go and close above previous week high. And then AI, I think we spoke about this gap here on the daily. If it does not stay open, then they will go lower, and you can see that. So I would want to see them go all the way down and take out this low one more time before going up, and that will mean I would want to see this week end as a down candle on AI. I don't want it to be an up. It can be an up candle like this, and then next week we will shoot up. Okay, that can happen, but when I'm looking for the institutions to come in, I don't like this as a down. As an up candle. Okay, I don't like that as an up candle. I want it to be a down candle. The last down or the last candle before the move up should be a down candle. That's always the best. So that's why you want this to end up as a down candle, and then next week we can look for the buy. Okay, so AI, I would want to see them rush down one more time and take out this low and then go up. Sometimes it can, use these up candles before going up, which is fine. It's just that on the lower time frame, it doesn't give like a nice buying pattern that we want to see. All right, so that's why we want to see at least a down candle on the weekly, or for something to really come in as a surprise and then shoot price all the way up back to previous week high. Right, someone can do it, but I'm not too optimistic about that, but it can happen. Okay, so hopefully we'll end up as a down candle, or someone with lots of money will come in and then take it all the way back up again, which where we are now is not likely, but I don't close my mind to it. I'm open to any possibility. The quantum realm. Okay, you have to be open to all possibilities.
Yes, superposition.
Thank you. All right, and then last one. Let's go and check. So we have.
Ooh, Tatsuo.
Okay, so yesterday the candle couldn't finish as a raid, rejecting the previous candle's low. It actually end up closing through the gap. So what does that mean? It means a lot of things here. One, it means that this can be, okay. Now you have to think ahead. Try and think ahead, because that's what I'm trying to teach you, to be able to know what is coming. So this up candle, guess what? Can be the last up candle prior to the move down, and then they go up. Because that is exactly how, if it's going to go up, that's how we want it to be. So with them rejecting, closing through this, I want to see quick down candle. Okay, that is the sign that someone, in my opinion, is buying, not selling. Okay, so you have to think opposite to what the average person would think here, because if they have the app, when this app is happening, it's gonna draw in buyers. That buyers, now they've taken them out, so this will be someone that is losing, but it will be someone with big money losing. Right, so if you look at all the pattern, that up candle is there before they move down. I think, let me go back to crude oil, because that's the one I'm watching. This one, right? Notice that at some point it was going up. Everybody is excited, we're going up, and then boom, down, then down. So here, when this down is happening, those that with big money is the one that will be accumulating the buy, because remember I said someone has to be on the other side of your trade. So if someone is if someone is selling, there needs to be a buyer on the other side. So the sales that were happening here is being accumulated by someone with big money, and then price will reverse and go higher. The same way when price is going down, they will do the same thing. This up movement, someone with big money was actually selling. When everybody was buying, someone was busy selling, right? And then boom. So this is the cause, this is the effect. So the same thing with um, um, tattoo, that if we want them to buy, this is the best pattern for them to start printing. Or if you want smart money, or some institution, someone with a lot of money to buy, this is the pattern that we want to see. So going forward, I would want to see one down candle. So like this, and then you start rejecting to come back up again. So keep an eye on that level that I mentioned right here, that equal low. Yeah. Okay. That's where I would want to see the move and then reverse and go higher. Okay. So that's tool for you. Now if you if you day trade, then by all means you can look for potential sell ideas to come for this low if you day trade. But if you're an investor, ignore selling, because this is not good for sell. It's actually good for buy. So it depends on which spectrum or which kind of trader you are. Right? Okay. So I think that was very, very quick analysis, but we got through.
That was sweet. I love the back to back to back to back to back charts in fast succession like that. It was a lot of fun. I was just like, yeah. And also very humbled by how quickly you were able to analyze everything. That's pretty cool.
Because we've already covered everything. The price did what we wanted it to do. So I'm just showing
Yeah.
you that that's what we were expecting, and that's what it's done. Tomorrow is weekend. So we don't want people to be, all about I want to trade, I want to trade. It's enough.
Yeah.
Enough for the weekend.
Hey, folded hands, brother. Mad respect, you know?
Awesome, awesome. I'm so excited. I haven't slept, right? I haven't slept all night, and I have too much energy within me. I have too much energy. I have so much in my head to share. It's blowing my head. I can
Oh
talk for
man,
hours.
I know. I'm with you on that actually.
And and
Um,
and the reason is, if you don't share it, you don't get more. So that's why it needs to come out so I can get more. Because
well, the
if you always
sorry, go
keeping
on.
if you're always keeping stuff, you're being selfish, you don't get any more. Right? But if you
Yeah,
share, you're always gonna have. That's my philosophy of life. Share and you always have. You don't share, you're not gonna have.
love it. Yep. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll do some. You and I will get together tomorrow and do some of that back testing and the portal work, so that you can jump on anytime you want and talk for hours, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We, yeah, I gotta prep for SP Dallas for 9:30. Got a couple of things to do. So there's nothing else. Why don't we wrap it up?
Sure, sure. Remember, self-awareness is key. That will be the quote. Self-awareness is key to everything in life. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, IT. Really appreciate it.